Hello and welcome to Pantheon News. I am so excited to be here with you guys. I've got Apollo in his new suit. We're rocking some hydrangeas, and if you didn't know, hydrangeas are my favorite flower. We've got 3 awesome streams that are going to hopefully expand your horizons and teach you something. Hopefully it'll make you excited to keep working on your webcomic, and hopefully you'll stick around to hear about a few surprises that I have at the end of the stream. So Lumbento asked, so what's going on today? How are you? And no, I will call you out. So if you weren't here for the pre-show, I was talking with everybody and we were just, shooting the breeze. So what's going on today is we're going to be covering 3 different stories. This is how our news stream usually works. I try and find what I deem to be the most interesting topics for the month and then relay that information to you, why I think it's beneficial, why I think it's interesting, all of those sorts of things. And so we're going to talk about Avatar, we're going to talk about Webtoon's new monetization policy, and then we're going to talk about how Rachel officially announced that Lore Olympus is ending. Each one of these topics has a unique perspective, hopefully that I can add to it. But before we dive too deeply into that, let me go ahead and put out my disclaimer. As you know, even though I do research for these videos and I look up different articles, everything that's said in this is opinion based. So, take everything with a grain of salt. And if you want to, you can pause and read the disclaimer. So with that, let's enter our first story. We're talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender. And of course, this series has been on a lot of people's brains. Like, a lot. And what's interesting about this, I think, is the timing of everything. But we're going to get into that. So let's see why I'm even bringing this up. Oh, Patient Spooky said, Lore Olympus ending feels so surreal. Yes, let me tell you. It's kind of insane to think about the fact that this series, I don't know if this includes Canvas, but it's been around for 5+ years. We're going to get into that. Delphi said, I read up to half the 2nd season. No. Oh, sorry. No idea of what's been going on. Yeah, we're getting into Lore Olympus here in a second. Everybody wants to talk about Lore Olympus. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I had started with that story. But, so this is Avatar: The Last Airbender, and basically they have joined Webtoons. So there's an article that I wanted to share with you guys. Oh, ignore my email. Can I make this large? So Avatar: The Last Airbender comes to Webtoon. With live action series streaming on Netflix, Dark Horse to put entire series online. I don't know what they mean by entire series. I found that to be super interesting, but we'll dive into that after we read the article. So it says Dark Horse Comics is partnering with Webtoon. Partnering is an important word. Always keep that in mind. With Webtoon to put the entire run of Avatar: The Last Airbender comics online on the Webtoon platform. The first 3 chapters were posted on March 22nd, 2024 and racked up 1.5 million views and almost 500,000 subscribers in the first 5 days. The move comes just a month after the live-action series premiered on Netflix. While major publishers including Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and Archie have created vertical scroll comics with their characters, this may be the first time a best-selling existing series has been reformatted in this way. Dark Horse began publishing original Avatar graphic novels in 2012, with a storyline that picked up where the Nickelodeon series left off. They have been consistent bestsellers. See, they have the link there, with 6 of them making the Comic Hub list of the best-selling kid graphic novels in comic shops in 2022. So there's a few comments. Delphi said that she's been reading Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it's been so good. It really has. Lumi Bento said, Avatar: The Last Airbender is amazing. The timing is great because of the live action. What are your thoughts on both? Okay, so let me go ahead and answer this, because I was going to answer it anyway, but since you asked, I found the live action, let me do that one first, to be missing something. And I think what it was missing was the heart of the story. And they did a lot of telling, but in a way, like I'm a firm believer that telling is a part of all storytelling. But the way you tell should not feel like I'm telling you something. Like, there's ways to manipulate the way you write something to where you can infer things that are very clearly inferred without telling them. And I feel like they did a lot of like repetitive stuff in the story that just made no sense. Like, why would you just keep bringing up the fact that this is live action again? Aang's like, I'm the Avatar, I'm sad, I don't know what to do. I'm the Avatar, I'm sad, I don't know what to do. It makes your character seem like yes, he's saying he doesn't know what he's doing, but it makes him seem like he doesn't have any agency over his own actions. Like, he's just waiting for stuff to happen. And that is very realistic in real life. Like, people sometimes do have moments where they're like just sitting around waiting for things to happen. And I just, it blows my mind that they would just, I felt like the live action should have covered less, because it felt like they just crammed everything in there without really respecting the source material and telling the story in a way that I would have enjoyed as a consumer. Like, not even from a writing or analytical side, just as a fan. I thought the series was super beautiful though. Like, the way the bending looked, the way the special effects looked, like it really, you felt submerged into the world, but there was a disconnect between all the characters. It was like, to me, it's kind of like if you went to this like gorgeous, beautiful set, like let's say you went to like Rome or Italy and it looked perfect like a picture, and then they had like paper stick figures like moving through the streets and whatnot for the people. Like, it was so out of place sometimes because like I just wasn't connecting, like it wasn't making sense. So when we get to the actual webtoon side of things, it's like, this is the Avatar that you should have been telling. Like, there was so much like heart and compassion, and so many of the characters had like strong, unique voices. And for you to like strip a character of their personality just makes no sense from a writing perspective. Like, that's how people relate to people. That's how people are engaged with people. Like, people see individuals in characters that they know. Like, say you're going through a particular issue, like maybe you're having an argument with a friend. Like, Katara and Toph, their dynamic is so interesting because like they're almost like, they're like the enemies to lovers thing. They're like enemies to friends because like they're so different and they get on each other's nerves. But the way like they nerfed Katara in this series, it makes me feel like all of her interactions with Toph will be so bland unless they just rewrite the character completely. And let me tell you, I am a like massive fanboy of Azula. Like, Azula can do no wrong. Azula is my favorite character. Like, when she's on screen, she has presence, she has power, she has it all. And the fact that Azula in this series was just like she was just a girl, and I get it, probably a normal 14-year-old, that is how they would act, but like you're having fans compare her to the Azula from what they know. It's just like, this character isn't giving what she should be giving. Like, Azula should have been giving like boss lady from the first episode. Like, the first time she was on screen, like she would have been like, oh, I'm the Fire Lord's daughter, I trapped you all, and then it executed them herself. Like, Sozin, is that his name? Sozin's comment? No, that's not right. What is his name? Ozai. Ozai should not have even been involved. He would have trusted that Azula would have slayed that all on her own. It's giving we didn't do our research thoroughly enough. I had a little tangent rant there. I'm sorry. Looking at comments, Delphi said it made sense why the creators left the project. I don't know why they left the project completely, because like with the One Piece director, he was talking about how involved he was, and he was like, no, we were going to work on that until we got it right. So it feels weird to me that on one side, like Netflix would be like, okay, we're going to work really hard with Oda to make sure that his vision is made correctly, but we're not going to work hard with Avatar. And like there kept being like all of these rumors about how like Avatar, The Last Airbender was going to be the next Game of Thrones for Netflix. Like it was going to be this massive juggernaut that was going to like be a watch time party for everybody like Game of Thrones was. So like it made no sense that to me that like I feel like maybe they had a disagree. You know how you can have a disagreement with someone and like the other person just doesn't understand your point of view, but like they're not upset with you or you're not upset with them, but like the other person is just like, nope, I'm done. You don't understand. You don't respect me, whatever. I feel like that's what it was. This is just my own personal opinion, my own like understanding of like people being people. And so I feel like it just like, it doesn't make sense on one hand. Like it just doesn't, it does not compute. I feel like the reason they left is because I think they liked animation more, to be honest. That's my opinion. Sue me. Let's see. Patient Spooky said, I agree with Apollo. The live action show feels stifled by over-explaining its story and not letting it breathe and let the characters be themselves. Yes. Yes. So, Lumi Bento said they left 2 years before it was out. It's crazy when you think about it. Adagong say, I remember the series having a lot of hype around it, even when the knowledge of the OG creators left. Yes, it had such a huge following for it. Like, people were going insane about it. And I don't think it was a bad adaptation live-wise. I just think it was mid. Like, you really didn't have any feelings about it. And I could see if you never watched Avatar or you never were involved with it, it could have been the point of, oh yeah, this is cool, this is interesting, it's giving what it's giving. But no, any other fan or any other like person intuitive with storytelling wouldn't have been hyped about it. Delphi said, what pisses me off is the amount of money that went into it. I can excuse a bad adaptation, but what they did to Avatar is unexcusable when you think about how much resources they had. I agree. Delphi said, it screams executives messing with the creative process. Haven't they learned anything at this point? No, see, executives will always be involved, in my opinion, because there's money involved. If there's money involved, they're going to, like, everybody has an opinion about something. And it only takes, like, you know, like, something being successful with mass society can tip in any direction super quickly. So like what people might view as like bad or not good, society could be like, no, it's amazing, and then it makes $1 million. Like if we think about Marvel at the time and we think about Captain Marvel, that first movie when it came out, to me it's not really a good movie. Like Carol, the character, like Carol Danvers, the Captain Marvel, like she's flat, she's plain, and it's not really explained in a way that makes sense to the audience, but yet that movie made $1 billion. Of course there were circumstances surrounding it, but the thing of it was, to me, is like executives were like, oh, we're right, it made so much money, it's one of the few movies that's made $1 billion, clearly this works. And so obviously when people feel like they're right and something works, they continue to go down that path. Does it make sense? No. Like sometimes it's just timing and sometimes it's just luck of the draw, and I think like executives just will never understand that for some reason. Like they believe in analytics and math and numbers and, you know, probability being in their favor, when like society, like they need psychologists over there being like, well, the masses as a whole, psychologically, I feel like there's a 70% chance they won't like your movie. This is getting on a little bit of a tangent. Like we haven't even gotten to my other points, but thank you guys for being so active in the chat. I love it. Delphi said, I just saw the news today that the showrunner is getting replaced for season 2 and season 3. Yeah. Delphi also said, it pisses me off because I think the cast is great. They just had an awful script. I do agree that sometimes a lot of cast members get blamed for like a series being bad, even though they're good actors. And it's like, they're getting paid to do a job specifically. Like, lines are important. How you tell lines are important. Like, all of that's important. Yes. But at the end of the day, a bad line is a bad line. Like, you can only do so much with it. Bento said they are pushing Avatar because of how great One Piece did. The moment they said we're going for a GOT audience, I knew it was over. Yeah, see, that's when you can tell that you don't understand your target audience per se, because they could have done a darker, more adult story without leaning to Game of Thrones. And I'm not like, just after seeing it, see, this is why I don't like to pass judgment before seeing it, because sometimes things can be misinterpreted in an interview or in an article or something. And like, I could say, hey, I want my series to get global success like Game of Thrones. And then like a person who I say that to could interpret that, oh, you want it to be the next Game of Thrones. And that's what they write, which isn't incorrect, but it's not what I said. So, but now that I've seen it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's giving Game of Thrones without the characterization. Bento said, but hey, I have to get out of here and stream myself. Hail the chat and everyone be safe. All right. Bye-bye. Thank you for popping in. It was so good to talk to you. Adagong said, promotional material using big stories like Jaws or GOT to advertise the scale of their news story is an instant red flag in my opinion. I can see it being that way. Delphi said it had many circumstances surrounding it. The thing is, if they did the bare minimum and just copy the cartoon, but live action, it would have made a lot of money because it's a beloved franchise. It sucked and still made a lot of money. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I feel like people need to be punished when it doesn't make the money. I'm like, you made a bad adaptation. Be punished. The people don't like it. Adagong said, it reminds me of the actor for Rey Skywalker and how she's getting offered. Do you mean like, I'm not sure. My brain's not computing the message, Adagong, but I think basically what you're saying is like she got a lot of hate for the character she played. And yeah, sometimes I'm like, why are we blaming the actor? Like, there's so many people involved with this to make it successful. Patient Spooky said, darker, more adult story of Avatar The Last Airbender. Bruh, just do The Legend of Korra. Yeah. See, that's the thing. And we're going to talk about that. Lord, okay. I'll jump back in the chat in a little bit. Let me focus back on the article and what I wanted to highlight. What I found interesting about this is Webtoon, again, we see Webtoon's behavior of partnering with established English comics to help. I feel like this is helping their evaluation so that they can be like, yes, see all of these partnerships we have? We need a bigger evaluation. We need more money. We're going to get more money. So I wanted to highlight that because we talked about that in a stream before. But what I also want to talk about is it talks about the fact that Avatar racked up 1.5 million views and almost 500,000 subs in less than 5 days. Like, that's crazy. Those are crazy numbers for 5 days. What's the craziest thing about this? I'm going to go ahead and end the article. I need to minimize. My bad. Play from current. So what's crazy about this is like you can see that there is a fan base here for it and who want to read and consume this material. The other thing is the article mentions that they're going to adapt the entire collection of these other series. So like a lot of fans who never paid for the promise, which that's what the story is on Webtoons right now, or paid for these additional comics like Zuko's mother, Azula's follow-up story after she has our mental breakdown, like all of this fans will get to see that never purchased this stuff. So it'll be a new experience for them, which is really, really, really cool and very smart and strategic on both parties' sides. So Webtoons is getting people to come in and view their app, which draws in more people to look at other things besides Avatar. And then Avatar is getting more hype. So we just had the live action. Now we're on Webtoons. So the live action, since it's a darker story, it's hitting a different fan base. And now with the Webtoons, it's hitting a younger fan base. So when they release their series next year, it'll have so much hype building up towards it. I feel like those movies are primed for success. And the only way it'll be bad is if they do a terrible job. So the timing for everything is perfect. But I feel if they really want to keep the hype going, they have so many stories to adapt other than these. Like we saw in the first slide, like when we first pulled up the article, like all of those were like different comic stories for Avatar. But Avatar has novels. And let me tell you, these novels, how can I put this? I love these novels more than I love the original series. And let me explain. If they wanted to do a Game of Thrones type story, they should have done Kyoshi. Kyoshi would have fit that line of storytelling because Kyoshi was ruthless. And the rise of Kyoshi's story is, it has so many layers to it. Like it has a bunch of heart. The like Team Avatar is like super interesting. Like all of the, because so whoever hasn't read this is a bit of a spoiler, but one of the people in Team Avatar becomes Kyoshi's main adversary and she has to deal with them. And it's really interesting because we've never had like a story, at least from what I've read, where like the Avatar is dealing with their own people. And so Kyoshi was trying to like reestablish order. Like it would have been Game of Thrones. Like it's very Westeros where like you have all of these factions in the Earth Kingdom, people trying to be on top of the Earth Kingdom. And then like you have like, this is a time when like the nations weren't at war. So it's interesting to see like interactions with the Fire Nation and like the political side of how the Fire Nation was ruling with power and whatnot. And like it was just so good. And then like the way they did Earthbending was in a way that would have been really cinematic. Like they gave us kind of like Avatar cinematic in the live action, but Kyoshi would have demolished like I don't know why they didn't do Kyoshi. Like nobody read these books. And if you haven't read the books, I'm sure that some of y'all are like, Apollo, nothing is better than the original series. Just give the books a chance. Roku is coming out. I haven't read that one yet, and I haven't read Yang Chen yet, but I've read both Kyoshi books, and I'm reading Yang Chen next. But it's just so inspiring and so inspirational, and it builds up so much hype. And if Webtoons is smart, because a Webtoon producer, from what I understand, gets stories that they need to adapt to Webtoons. If the creators of this, like the, I think it's the Avatar Chronicles or whatever, if they get the rights to be able to adapt these things will be massive, like massive, crazy slays. So I'm super excited about it. I cannot wait for these to see like what Avatar Studios and Webtoons actually does, because I would love to see these adapted. Oh, Artsumi Shay, hello! She said, Avatar can honestly be like the Star Wars franchise. There are so many stories we haven't seen from the main canon. There's a cinematic universe that's possible. Yes. Like, to be honest though, I really prefer, I think animation is really where Avatar shines the best though. Because you can do such creative, such dynamic things with animation that live action just isn't there yet. And I feel like there are certain Avatar stories that would make sense for live action and others for animated. The reason I say that is because like there was an Avatar that's mentioned in Kyoshi's story, and he was like a fire Avatar, like he was a part of that. But when he was born, he focused on like balancing their economy and like espionage and like getting rid of people that were in his way to make sure that he could restore balance to the Fire Nation. And he leaned heavily to like building up the Fire Nation, and like all of the avatars we've seen have really focused on like global stuff. So it'd been really cool to have like a very pinpointed story focusing just on the Fire Nation. Delphi said they're making more animations, which I'm very hyped about. Yes, they are. I think they're moving forward with new avatars, which is smart because like it still diversifies. Like, oh, well, you want to know what happened in the past? Read about these avatars in the Avatar Chronicles. Or you want to know what happened with Aang after the Nickelodeon series? Read the comics, that sort of thing. So I think that it'll be really cool to see like how Avatar expands here and they grow. Oh, June is here. Hi, Juniper. So glad that you're here. The art for the Roku cover looks amazing. It really does. Like when I first saw it, I was like, wait, that's Roku? What is this? I'm so pumped for that book. I have to read Yang Chen first. Yang Chen is a character that I feel like I'll really like because everything that anyone's told me about her or anything that I've watched, I feel like me and her resonate on the same level. So I've got to read her story next. But Roku's really fueling my desire to read that. June said, 100% agree with your animation comment. As much as I enjoy the comics, the bending hits so much harder when animated. It does. It really does. Delphi said, isn't there going to be a Kyoshi animated movie? I can't remember if it was announced or a rumor. I've heard a rumor about it. I don't remember it being officially announced. I hope they do a Kyoshi movie because it would slap. Like, she has some amazing bending feats in those 2 books that I'm just ready for. All right, so what does this teach us? So let's talk about the business side of this. All right, what I can see from this is Webtoon is working with companies and individuals that have established IPs. So if you have an IP that is already established, you're in a good position to keep building your brand by working with Webtoons. So you want to build your own IP as much as possible on your own. You want to reach out to as many companies as possible. Don't just focus on Webtoons because you never know what company is going to work for you, what company is going to believe in you, support you. So just reach out to everybody. We've talked about so many different companies on here that are now working with Webtoons. Like they have established IP. Webtoons like, yoo-hoo, can I get some of that IP? And they're sending it over there. And the creators of this are, I don't know if they're making bank, but they're getting an additional revenue stream. So like, even if you're not an artist, like you could be a writer, you could even have like very strong characters. Those are all IP properties that you can sell off, which I wouldn't sell them. So like rent, what's the right word? I forget what it's called. License. You can license them to companies to adapt or change. And so now they have to do all the hard work, but you get a royalty. You get a stipend, you get a lump sum of money all at once. Like that is really smart. And so then you're diversifying your revenue. So like if you're writing a book and you finish your book before you finish your webtoon or something, it's really smart to be like, okay, so now I have this book that I can sell around to other companies while I'm still working on the webtoon. And then when a company is like, oh yes, like Dark Horse is like, yes, we would love this. Well, you would just tell them, I still want to, make this into a comic. I want to produce it and whatnot. And so I'll be working on that on the side. And then they'll be like, okay, cool. Keep working on your comic. And then maybe they'll be like, oh, well, we have connections with Webtoons. So you can be strategic about stuff. Like you could try and get with Dark Horse and then get Dark Horse to get something with Webtoons. And now you've got like more than just Webtoons. Like you've branched out, you've expanded beyond just one company. So I really feel like with Avatar, it just showcases how like a strong IP can stand on its own, bring in its own followers, bring in its own following, and still have room to grow and reach other audiences. All right. our next story. We're talking all about Lore Olympus and Rachel. I guess before I move on, Adagong said, I wonder what IP Webtoon is going to license next. I think Webtoons is trying to snatch up as much as they can, and we're going to talk about that in this article. So let's look at what Rachel said. So she posted this on her socials. I saw it on Instagram and I saw it on Twitter. Looking at what Rachel posted, she said, reminder, Lore Olympus series finale. Hi all, as mentioned last year, Lore Olympus is on its final arc and will be wrapping up. The final episode is 280. This is scheduled to be published via FastPass on the 11th of May, 2024. I'm working on a future message to express my gratitude and thank the many people who have helped during this incredible journey. So let's look and see what episode it's at right now. So right now, including FastPass, it has up to 274. So it's really close to being done. And that's insane. Alright, so for this article, what I really want to do is just take a moment to acknowledge Rachel's success. It's crazy to me how, amazing she is with everything that she's accomplished with this series. From it being nominated multiple times, from it becoming a New York best-selling, turning into a New York Times best-selling author, from her book making it onto all sorts of lists like Amazon. It's just crazy how much success and how much she's opened for everyone. And the reason I think it's important, regardless whether you like Lore Olympus, whether you feel like it's boring now, it lost the plot, whether you feel like it's just not giving what it used to give, Rachel did open a door in terms of a lot of people view Webtoons differently, I think. I think a lot of industry players look at the Webtoon IP differently. And I think that she really has a powerful effect on the market for creators right now. Adagong said, with so many stories that time ending, it's almost like an entire generation is leaving and a new one is emerging. Yes, and I think that's so interesting because we can see a lot of what, older creators, I don't like calling them that, but creators who are the OG ones who really started popping off, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. We can really see what they did. We can see the mistakes they made. We can see why their story was successful, how it became successful, what the current trends are, and how we can acknowledge that their success wasn't necessarily a fluke. It's the type of people that are on Webtoons, and they, whether they wanted to or didn't, they did shape their stories in a way that overall told the best story for the audience that they had. And not every creator did that, but I do feel like some creators were really focusing in on who their target audience is, which is really important, who they're trying to shape the story for. So it's just, there's so much to learn. And I personally just want to say thank you to Rachel. I really appreciate everything that she's done. And it really inspires me to create a Webtoon that I can be proud of. Let's see. Adagong said, insane, since many of those stories were on the front of Webtoons promotion and websites. It is really insane. Oh, Drew Young Han. Hello. I don't think I've ever seen you on here before, but thank you so much for joining. Said, I'm excited too. Avatar: The Last Airbender actually inspired me to be an artist, so having the Webtoon version available is really exciting. It is. It's really amazing to see the interpretation of because we have an animated version to compare it to that's in the style that's very similar to the comic. Like Tower of God, I feel like has a different art style in the anime, and even like some of the other ones. But you can really see like the fluidity and how like the comic is drawn, how it still matches the energy of the series, and you can see like how well the expressions are conveyed. Like Avatar Last Airbender was so good. I'm sorry to get on such a tangent about that, but thank you for dropping that comment. I had to acknowledge it and say something. Adagong said, oh yeah, those graphic novels were big in my local bookstore. Lore Olympus or Avatar? Adagon said, I think I heard a rumor about Lore Olympus being made into an animated series. So I don't think that was a rumor. Webtoons had a website, and I wish that I took a screenshot of this website because I cannot find it. But it had like on there like all of these series that were getting live action and getting animated series, which I think we're getting True Beauty soon. But anyway, I digress. My point in all of this is that Webtoons now is saying like isn't saying anything about it. So it's really interesting that we're going to have to see what Webtoons does now. Delphi said, I got lost in the plot of Lore Olympus when I stopped reading, but the art is stunning. She has a gorgeous art style. I don't know how she gives it like this canvas, watercolor, acrylic, like it just has such a beautiful style. I remember there was an interview she did and she was talking about how like the art style is like really inspired by like Disney, like old style Disney. And like, I can definitely see that. And I feel like a Disney collab for Rachel would just like skyrocket her. Like if she could get a movie with Disney, that would be it. Like she would have solidified herself as like the top creator for like a series at this time. That's just my opinion. I feel like it would be really, really, really intelligent of Webtoons to partner with Disney. Like if she isn't doing any meetings with Disney, like who is her agent? Let me be her agent. I will make it happen. Artsumi Shay said, I'm gonna just call you Shay from now on. She definitely helped put Webtoon on the map. She really did. Like globally, because I feel like in Korea it's popping off. Like True Beauty, God of High School, Tower of God, like those things are like top tier over there. Omniscient Reader, we'll see when Omniscient Reader comes out over here if it turns it into a global success. But like if they can get one anime like Solo Leveling where it just slaps, then Webtoons is gonna be sitting pretty. They're gonna be like, acknowledge us, acknowledge Naver. Hands down, we're the best. that's the vibe that I get. Adagong said, Lore Olympus might be Webtoon's flagship series. I think it is. Like, I think it's the series that they put forth the most, because I feel like True Beauty, Tower of God, God of High School, all of those could have been flagship series, but they strategically selected Lore Olympus for some reason, and I would love to have been in a meeting because I want to know if it was like there was any sort of reasoning behind it, or if it was just popular at the time. Like, I'm really, really curious as to what made them push this so hard. Adagong said, would it be a good idea for it to be Disney to go to? Would it be a good idea for it to go to Disney? Okay, let me explain my reason why I think it would be good on Disney. This is a little bit of a side tangent. It just fits with their princess series. And I could see like Hades and Persephone in the parks and people loving it. And Rachel's characters are in, unique colors. So they would stand out no matter what they were wearing. They could have them in all sorts of fun outfits for like Halloween and Christmas. And it would be themed. And people would love to, like, we have people that go to Disney for fun. Like, year round, like multiple times. And so having the characters in different outfits and aesthetics, like they wouldn't even have to try really hard and it would just like pop off really well. Like people would be obsessed with it, and they could do like a Lore Olympus, Hercules crossover sort of thing. Like they can make a whole park of it. It would be hands down super cool, super fun. Because I think in Hercules, the gods are certain colors. Like, I can't remember. It's been a while since I watched that. My marketing brain is just like, it would be a slam dunk if like they could market them together. Like, people would be hyped for it. Drew Young said, Lore Olympus is one of the big three, like Naruto, One Piece, Bleach. Yeah, so Drew, what would be a big three for Webtoons? I'd be interested to hear, like, what do you guys think? What would be a big three of Webtoons? Let me know. And let me ask you guys in the poll. So let's start a poll. It's gonna be, do you think Lore Olympus, one second, Lore Olympus would make a good anime? Heck yes. Nope. Too adult. Oh wait, let's say nope, and then let's put too adult. Not really. And then maybe season 1. Okay. All right, and there's the poll. Okay, so Patient Spooky said, maybe the reason why was one of the flagship series is because it appealed to more feminine audience, as that seems to be the majority Webtoon audience. I think so. I actually have an interesting thing to talk about that in a stream. Is it 2 weeks from now? The one that I have posted right now, I think it would be really interesting to talk about, because there's a Webtoon producer on YouTube that talks about the 2 biggest genres on Webtoon. And so this person has insider information, and I want to talk about it in that stream. So stay around for that, but I have a lot of thoughts on that. I'm going to save it for that video. Delphi said, I think part of it is also because the creator is American. I think they use Lore Olympus to push Webtoons to a wider audience outside South Korea. I think Rachel's European. Like, I think she's in the Netherlands or Sweden or something. Like, she's not from the US. There's an interview with her on, is it Girl Wonder? Yeah, I think it's Girl Wonder. And she mentions, like, she's in the UK, like she just moved to London or something. Like, I can't remember exactly, but she had just moved somewhere in the UK. Adagong said she's in New Zealand. Okay, yeah, it was something like that. Drew said Disney probably swoop in and make their own platform, Disney Comic Plus. I could definitely see that. Like, Disney is trying to make as much money as possible. Like, they would have to buy it, I think, from Webtoons, because I feel like if Webtoons hasn't offered Rachel like millions of dollars for it at this point, that Disney would have to be like, we'll give you $1 billion and pay it in perpetuity until it's paid out. I don't know. Okay, so Delphi said, I thought she was from the US. Is she from the US? Did she move over there? I don't know. Like, she doesn't have an accent to me, so I can't tell. Maybe she moved under there. Juniper said, unordinary for sure. Unordinary is in an interesting spot because, so, I've started keeping track of people's numbers. And I feel like unordinary is definitely huge. And I don't know if it's hitting its threshold yet or not. Because, like, I haven't seen much growth for it. But I don't know if that's, like, the platform or if that's unordinary. And I could be wrong in my, like, assessments. So I'm just trying to figure it out. Adagon corrected me already. Yeah. But the style is definitely from the Korean manhwas. Yep. New Zealand is east to Australia. Adagon, you would know. Oh, let's look at the poll. So let's end the poll. So, the results. Do you think Lore Olympus would make a good anime? 71% said heck yes. 14% said nope. 14% said it's too adult, not really. And that was pretty much it. So I feel like people are ready for Lore Olympus. So let me talk about why this is interesting. Like, is this actually the end for Lore Olympus? Well, I think it's going to get an anime or a live action. Something's going to happen. But for us, I think it's like now when Lore Olympus ends, there'll be a period of time where Lore Olympus will still be in the spotlight. Because people will be like, oh, it's ended. There's going to be a lot of hype around it. People are going to be binge reading. Webtoons is going to be pushing it. Like, read the whole series of Lore Olympus now. Like, it's going to be giving all of that. But Webtoons is going to be hunting for its next big series. And I feel like they're going to want to build something up from the ground. And that's partly why they're doing these partnerships. I think the partnerships are going to keep the people coming in to the platform. Like, so let's say like Lore Olympus fans like, die down. And then to keep up with the like active users and whatnot, they're doing all of these partnerships, and they're going to have like things like Avatar. They might do something with Marvel or Archie Comics because Big Ethel is ending soon too. So they might do something where like those fan bases are still around to keep the numbers. But I think a new series is going to be what Webtoons is going to push like really hard. And this is where I get to gush about superpowers. So superpowers from our last video with the Pantheon partnership. So I have Audible, and it was one of the books, and it's a free book on Audible. The first book is. And so I started reading it. This book is probably like my favorite series I've ever read. It's basically the X-Men, but in college. And that's like Webtoon's target audience. Like, so think X-Men Evolution. Like, I don't know if you guys watch that or if I'm an old person, but it's giving that sort of energy, but with like only 5 characters. The cast isn't too huge, so you really get to know these characters. It's like, if Webtoons does this right, it could be their My Hero Academia. But the story is written, told, explained, and the lore is a million times better than My Hero Academia. Like, it's insane how well written this story is. And I need to read some of the other stories because this will really like indicate to me the quality that Webtoons is trying to obtain with new stories. And so like if these other stories are just as good as Superpowered, like the Webtoon creators are going to have to like step up their game even more, because like the difference with this to me is like these series are complete. So like they've been edited thoroughly by like professional editors. They've been tried and true. They already have established fan bases. So like these things can have the potential to skyrocket. So like for new creators, you're competing with already established IP from another platform that's going to like hype up the people that are already on the platform. Like if you hear something's hot, a lot of times you might check it out because you've heard so much about it. So that's why I'm like, ooh, this is going to be really interesting to see the dynamics with them adapting all of these books. Like, it's going to be insane. But I hope that if they do it right, it brings in more people, which means the more people on the app, the more it can spread into other, like, niches. It can spread onto Webtoon Canvas, can spread onto originals that are already there. I think it'll be really, really interesting. The, like, Superpowers is so good. Like, I want to draw the cat. Like, if I could apply, like, you guys know how I feel about working for Webtoons. But if I could apply to work there, like, I would love to partner with Webtoons. And I've always said this, just not long term, like 3 months max. I would work on Superpowers. Like, that's how much I love this series. It's so good. I'm going to reach out to this creator and be like, can we please interview so I can talk about like the expectations that you have for this series being adapted to a Webtoon? A review is coming soon on this as well. I'm sorry. Like, I just have to put it out there. And I know I'm gushing over this, but I'm just telling you, I see so much potential. So I'm hoping that all of the creators like really pay attention to the next few months and what's happening, and they can like put themselves out there. Like, talk to Webtoons if you're already working with them and see, like, you know, does your series have the potential to be the next Lore Olympus? Does your next idea have the potential to be the next Lore Olympus? Like, if they haven't already come up with the strategy, this is the time to jump in. So, my next point is Rachel's success. It benefits us for future deals. Why do we say that? Because Rachel has established that her IP is so strong that it's not just like a fluke. Like, she's worked hard. People all around the world have acknowledged that her series, her writing level, her skill level, man, my accent came out hard there. But she's established that Webtoon IPs are worth investing in, which means that you're worth investing in, which means that your dollar sign is worth more because, like, the series is successful. And I know people might not like the way that's phrased, but that's how a lot of business is done. People look at the numbers. Like, well, do you have an example of another Webtoon that's successful? Yes, Lore Olympus. Like, that's why you should invest in me. You're missing out because I could be the next Lore Olympus. And a company could be persuaded from those simple words. Oh, let's see. Delphi said, I bet Lore Olympus is going to get at least one adaptation. The entire movie industry is banking on adapting established IPs with built-in audience. It just makes sense. I agree. I don't know why her series hasn't come out yet. The same with Let's Play. Where's that at? Where is it at, Monkey? Drew said, mine will be next, screaming like Luffy. Drew, what's your series? I want to know. I want to look it up. I want to read it. Delphi said, I think a Netflix animation series would be better than Disney for Lore Olympus. They've done great things with adult animation. Delphi, that's actually a really good idea. You should be Rachel's agent. Netflix would be, because they do a lot of adult animation over there. Like, I was thinking in terms of the theme park. I think in terms of telling the best story, Netflix would be the way to go. But I also think Netflix in terms of merchandising, not Netflix, Disney in terms of merchandising would be the better way to go. If I was Rachel, I'd have to do a cost analysis. Because, like, you've already told the story the way you wanted it. Like, see, this is where, like, it's like, I need to put on my business hat and really think of what would be the most beneficial for the series in the long run. That's hard. That's really hard. Because Netflix really does adapt hardcore. Oh, Drew says, I agree with Delphi. Netflix is a better choice. Yeah, I agree. Like, in terms of, like, actually telling the story, it is the better choice. It's just Netflix usually doesn't do anything beyond adapting the series. And I'm like, if Rachel partnered with Disney, she could get royalties off of that for the rest of her life. Like, she would never have to work again, sort of royalties. It's really hard. We'll circle back to that. Adagon said, unless Netflix decided to opt out of nowhere, cancel the series. Yeah, I could see that. Delphi said they'd at least make a first season. Yeah, I agree with that. Drew Young, Book of Domination. Book of Domination, is that your Webtoon series? Please clarify. Delphi said, I stand Netflix animation projects. Me too. A lot of Violet Evergarden is my favorite story ever. Like, ever written, ever told. It's flawless in my mind. Like, I learned so much from that series as a person. It's so amazing. Like, I think I almost cried on every part of that story. Like, it hit me so hard. It's so good. Delphi said, Blue-Eyed Samurai has inspired me a lot. I need to finish that. I have started the first episode like 4 times and I keep getting interrupted. I'm going to watch it tonight because everybody has told me Blue-Eyed Samurai is practically flawless. Like, it's the series of the year for 2023. Like, it was that good. Nimona? Is that a series on Netflix? I don't think I've watched that. Was executed perfectly. I'll have to look that up. Adagon said Violet Garden is S tier. Violet Garden is what I aspire to be as a writer. Like, not including animation, not including character design, just being able to write that level of storytelling is all I would want. Like, my life would be complete if I could make a story written that beautifully. Adagon said, Violet Evergarden inspired you to write letters. Drew said, my webtoon is Book of Domination. Okay, Drew, if you're here when we get to the shout out section or questions and comments, let me know. We will look up your series and read the description, because I'm really interested in that. It sounds like it would be up my vibe. Delphi, I promise. I will finish Blue-Eyed Samurai. I promise. Patient Spooky said, I love Violet Evergarden too. It's such a good story. Oh, all these Violet Evergarden fans. I love it. Adagon said, okay, you're just saying you're going to give Book of Domination a read. Delphi said, it's written by a guy who wrote Logan and his wife. I've seen interviews with them, and I really like how they've explained it and whatnot, like why they wrote it and, you know, a little bit of their background. So it's really intriguing. I definitely want to check out the series. Nimona is a movie? Okay. Oh my god, Nimona. I love Nimona too. It used to be a webcomic but got adapted into a film, and it's really good. What is it on? Is it on Netflix too? Adagon said, never heard of Nimona. It was pushed back by Disney because of its queer themes. It was canceled when Blue Sky was shut down before being saved. Okay, so I watched Blue Sky recently. I think it was Blue Sky. I'm blanking. Okay, I need to write both of these down because I need to double check if I've watched these. Delphi said it got nominated for Best Animated Movie for the Oscars. It's an LGBT allegory based on a comic series written by the showrunner of She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. Oh, okay. They're trans creators. Interesting. Yeah, Nimona is an interesting case of a webtoon adaptation. It's on Netflix. Y'all, what am I doing with my life? Clearly, I'm got my head stuck in books because I am so behind on what's going on Netflix. I've got to keep up. Nimona. Okay, I'll definitely be watching that. Okay, Adagon said the graphic novels are better, but Nimona is still a great film. I want to experience all of it. I'll definitely watch it on Netflix first, though, just because time. And I'm a slower reader than I am a watcher, I guess. What am I thinking? There's a movie that has Blue in it and has like ballerinas in it, and she's like going through a psychotic break. Is that not Blue Sky? What am I thinking? Now you guys have got me like really like I don't know what's going on. Okay, let me get back to why this is interesting. So I think we all need to pay attention to the fans' response to this webtoon ending. Because it's been such a big series, it's had so much controversy around it. Like, I'm really interested to see the fan response and if Rachel wraps it up in a way that's open-ended or if she wraps it up where the story is completely done. Because I wonder if she's going to build out the universe of Lore Olympus, because there's other stories to be told. This was just Persephone and Hades. Like, there's like, she could do demigods. She could focus in on like, you know, some of the already established characters like Hera. You even have their other sides of their aspects, their Roman sides. So like Jupiter and Neptune and all of that. So I wonder if like she might do more Greek mythology or if she just wants to go completely left field and change her mind. But I will say, if the series doesn't wrap up in a satisfying way, people will not be happy. We'll have another Game of Thrones and it'll just become the Webtoons of Game of Thrones. So I really hope that a lot of thought and love was put into the ending, and that like Rachel had like a bunch of support from her editors and her team to really help her make sure that the series could be handled in a way that people enjoy. Oh, it's got me stressed. All right, we're getting into our last story. No Patience Spooky, not Black Swan. It's another series. It's an anime, and it's like an older school anime, and it has similarities to Black Swan. I thought it was blue. It's blue something, I thought. I'll have to... Maybe it's not blue. I'm not sure. Atagong said, how quickly will people be dropping Lore Olympus if it does end badly? Well, see, my thing of it is I don't want the ending to tarnish all of the good work that Rachel's done. And so, like, writing an ending for a series like that, I'm sure there's a lot of pressure. Blue period? Perfect Blue. Yes, it's one of those. I think Blue period. I want to say Blue period. Also, hello, Wufargia! Wufargia is amazing. They're the creator of Sheltered, my favorite Webtoon series of all time. Like, that series almost has me on the verge of tears all the time. Perfect Blue. Is it Perfect Blue? I know it's blue something. Okay. Let's key in to the last story. It's all about making that money. So here's the thing. Webtoon now has come out with the fact that they're adding more monetization options, which, okay, cool. But let's dive into what's actually going on with this. So this is from an article, and I think I'm just going to pull up the article because I feel like the article is the way to go. Oh, okay. So Blue Period, yes, I've watched that. It's so good. Okay, like I've seen that one. Okay, Perfect Blue, that movie, flawless. Like, Violet Evergarden is probably my flawless series. Perfect Blue is my flawless movie. Like, it's so good. Okay, let's get back onto the monetization thing. So this was posted a while ago, and it was like, oh wait, is this the article? No, I don't have the article pulled up. Crap. Okay, I'll need to, before we get into the Reddit stuff, I need to pull up the... I need to pull this back up. Okay, so Webtoon launches Super Likes monetization for English language creators. So Webtoon introduces Super Like, a new way for creators to earn through fan support. Okay, cool. I like the idea of allowing, people who are on the app to be able to support you. So instead of being transferred directly to the, to another place. Because I do feel like sometimes people are lazy, and like someone might be willing to just like offer you a tip while they're on the app instead of going to your Patreon and subscribing for a month. So I do like that fact. So it says readers can buy super likes on Webtoon Canvas, enriching their favorite comics. So it's just a tipping system. It says additional revenue streams for creators include ads, paid content, and localization. I don't know what localization means exactly and how creators benefit from that. So if someone is involved in that, let me know. And then it says Super Likes will launch in spring for Canvas creators and summer for originals. All right. Let's do another poll before I get into my rant. And I want to keep this one pretty straightforward. Start. Do you like the super like option coming to Webtoons? All right, let me put super like in quotes. And I'm sorry, guys, I've been all over the place tonight. It's just one of those nights where my brain is like going 1,000 miles an hour tonight. I don't know what happened. Let's go with yes. Maybe. So maybe we'll be like, I need more info, and then no. Like, I want to keep this one super simple, so like you can't be like, Apollo, you're influencing it. So you got to watching it, eh? Yes. I did watch, I've watched it. I just couldn't remember the name of it because I can't remember it was you, but I was telling you, I was telling somebody I really like Black Swan, and it was one of my favorite movies, and they were like, you should watch Perfect Blue. And I was like, okay, and I loved it. It's basically Black Swan, at least in my opinion. So Delphi said, being honest, I don't know if people are going to use this. I think Patreon attracts people because of the bonus content. I don't know if many people are going to want to tip, though, through Super Like. I'm curious as to how it's going to work. Sounds like another version of Ko-fi. I like having another revenue option. I just doubt it'll be used. Yes. So that's what I wanted to say, is that I feel like this Super Like thing is... it can't hurt you. And I know like a lot of people are like, what's the point of it? Why are you doing this? Like, do Patreon integration or something. Yes. You're all so right. Like, having a link to click would be very beneficial to just go there. But hey, they've given us this. And I will say there are times that if they allow creators to, you know, become more in harmony like originals with being able to upload future episodes on Canvas, because I don't think that's an option. But like essentially they could like add fast pass and all of that stuff. Like there's stuff that I feel like people will do, but if it goes out of their way or they feel like it's not worth supporting, like going to your Patreon or something like that, having the tip there in the app, just click a button, pay, you know, with like your card on your phone or whatever, like you automatically are linked to it. Being able to do that super quick and be like, that was a great episode, paid. Or think about the fact that you have a series on there that you don't really advertise anymore. Like maybe you finished something and people are reading it and they're like, oh, I got to the last episode, I really like this. They offer you a tip because they made it all the way through your series. So my point is, I feel like it just adds another possible revenue stream. Like it doesn't hurt anybody to have it on there. I feel like it will be kind of not used. I just feel like we need to wait and see, because like even tipping, like the concept of it in general, a lot of people don't necessarily do it or want to do it. They do it begrudgingly. So I feel like you'll have to really have like a strong fan base or someone who really likes the series enough to tip. Like it's like, okay, I like your series, but I don't necessarily like you enough to subscribe to your Patreon, but I'll give you $1. So I think, was it Patient Spooky? It is a great comparison to Ko-fi, or it is a great comparison to YouTube's memberships, something like that. I feel like that is kind of where they're going with it. Let's see. Adagong said, oh, we're not going to get back on Black Swan. So Delphi said, it would be better if FastPass was available for all creators. That way there wouldn't be a need to outsource it through Patreon. I agree with that. I think that would probably be the ultimate step up for Canvas and would allow a lot of creators to add a lot to their revenue stream. Drew said, TikTok gifts works. Let's give super likes a chance. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I feel like we're maybe like too hard on, what is it? Super likes? Like, let's see what happens. Like, let's give it a little bit of time to kind of see like what actually happens before we pass complete judgment on it. So like, I'm neutral. I'm in the maybe category. I'm like, it could be good, it could be bad, but I feel like you should have it set up. You should have it applied for, whatever you need to do to make sure that the super likes is an option on your series. So I feel like it can be hit or miss. Adagong said, something from Webtoon is better than nothing. You're not wrong, Adagong. Oh, Hugh! So glad you could make it. I know it's early over there, or you're still in morning. Like it's the morning time. So no worries. I'm just glad you can make it onto the stream. We're just talking about the super like feature. Adagong said, TikTok, dear God. I already have Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. I do not want to add TikTok to that. Listen, you gotta go where the people are, Adagong. And I don't know if there's anybody on Threads. Are there people on Threads? Are people using Threads? I feel like it's bare bones over there. Delphi said, we need 500 plus likes to be eligible. I think we small creators should help each other out by liking each other's chapters so more of us can bank on it. Delphi, that's a great idea. I think we should definitely do that. So this kind of will go, I'm thinking that maybe this month I want to do like a live reading, some dramatic reading of some of y'all's comics on the stream, like just go over the top on them and just have like a really good time with you all. And I want us to like the series, and I want us all to leave comments and just like boost the series as much as possible. I feel like that would be so much fun and could really like make a creator's day, hype that creator up and let them know that like people really care about their series. So I feel like that is a great idea, Delphi, and especially with the super light being involved now, like this would only add to and benefit those creators. So I think that's a great idea, Delphi. We should definitely do that. Please remind me. I need to set the stream for that, but please remind me so we can do that. Adagong is in agreement with Delphi, so is Patient Spooky. Everybody is in agreement with this. I love it. Drew said, FastPass might give too much advantage to certain type of storytelling. Slow burn series might be at a disadvantage with FastPass system. I agree that it could put people at disadvantages. I'm just saying set up more revenue streams for Canvas since they don't have the creator program anymore. It'll be nice to give them a little more anonymity with being able to control their... I didn't use that word right. But give them more control so that they can be able to, you know, if they want to pursue this as a living or pursue this as a career, or they want to justify putting in their time for this, this will help to do that. And I feel like that's like a really smart way, opening up different revenue streams for the creators. So like some people are really interested in FastPass. Webtoons has already proven that FastPass works on their site, that people are willing to spend money to read the next episode on their site. So I think that is a smart option. Let's see. Delphi said it wouldn't need to be mandatory though. Yeah, I'm not necessarily saying that you would have to, but I feel like if like we would need the group to all be like supportive of it. Like I think that if you were to do something like that, you would need people to be in agreement with it. Like, hey, let's do it. Let's like actually make this happen. Like, I mean, obviously if you hate the series, like then don't do it. But like really you're doing it because like the creator is awesome. So if you did something like that. Hugh said, yeah, I think Ko-fi is a better model than Patreon. A tipping system is better than a subscription model. I say Sometimes, because some people forget they're subscribed to stuff and they just let it go on, and so you keep getting money that way. Like, that's a terrible way to be, but that's the reality of the subscription. Like, a tip is like one and done. Let's see. Hugh said, yeah, FastPass encourages cheap cliffhangers. Yeah, I don't like cliffhangers, and there's ways to tell a story where it's like not necessarily a cliffhanger, but it makes the reader want to find out what happens next. And you don't have to end it on a cliffhanger. So I feel like people need to invest in that a little more. Patient Spooky said, more revenue streams equal good. Agreed. Diversify your incomes. Oh, Matt. Hi, Matt. So glad you could join. Guys, if you haven't been checking out Matt's channel, he is on there doing live paintings. His paintings are amazing. I would love to buy one, Matt, in the future and hang it up in my house, but we can talk about that later. So please check out his YouTube channel. It's amazing. So he said, the super likes a fine idea, but I wish they would implement other things like giving access to comic-specific emotes, sort of like Discord. That's an interesting thought, Matt. Wouldn't that be a lot of like work on their IT side? Like how does that work exactly? Like, would the people in charge of the comic make them? Like who would be making them? I'm interested about that now, Matt. Webtoon. Oh, Delphi said, I also got the notification today that Webtoon is getting an update to allow GIFs and sharing series KN comics. Oh, are we talking about what Matt was just talking about? Adagong said, good point, Matt. Comic/perk exclusive emotes sounds like a great idea. I agree. So that would be like the YouTube thing, right? Like where you get, like if you have a membership, you get access to certain emotes that the creator made. I want to do something like that. I would love little Apollo emotes. Let's see. Delphi said the emotes comment reminded me of that. Delphi, will you send that article to me or notification that you got? I didn't see anything today, but I didn't really research that hard before getting on the stream. Matt said, I'm still scratching my head how it took them so long to implement GIFs. I mean, Matt, it took them a while to make like creator profiles. Like, why wasn't that already a thing? Like, I didn't understand that. It took them forever to do that. Like, I feel like it's such a smart move to allow people to be able to quote, I'm air quoting, you know, interact with their favorite creators. Make Twitter on Webtoons. Let's see. Delphi said, I fear the sharing series bit can cause some people to spam other Webtoons with their links. Yeah, it could. Adagong said, why haven't they updated their app and website user face and structure? You know what, Adagong? We really need someone from IT here. Who has a connection there and can get us in with the Webtoon IT to be like, what's going on with this dude? Delphi said, I wonder how they're going to control this. Me too. I'm very interested. They already have a couple of things on their site that breaks TOS. Adagong said, that's a great point you brought up, Delphi. I'll try to find it. It showed up when I opened the app. Oh, I haven't opened the app today. Matt said, I'm so glad you enjoy my paintings, Apollo. Yeah. Would you said to YouTube memberships was what I was thinking. Yes. Exactly. Hi, Kaylee Blue. Glad you could jump on. The comment update was posted April Fool's, so some people thought it was fake. Oh, it came up on Friday. Got it. Not Friday, was that Monday? Monday. Hugh said, I think readers should only like the series that they generally enjoy and not do it out of obligation to small creators. So what I was talking about was if we, what I was talking about. If we did like a live dramatic reading and like I was on here and we enjoyed it and whatnot, then we would like, you know, support that creator as much as possible with likes and comments and stuff. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, obviously, if you have nothing nice to say, you wouldn't say it. But if you just enjoyed hanging out, enjoyed the dramatic reading, I feel like that would deserve a like on the series, because like we made it fun, and without their series, we wouldn't have enjoyed like that dramatic reading. That's where I was going with that. As far as anything else, yes, you would have to like control the parameters of what you guys are doing, and so that's why it's like hard to do stuff like that. I agree. I was just saying in terms of what we were going to do, that was my idea. Like, that was why we would all like the thing, is because we all enjoyed the dramatic reading, because we all loved Apollo's dramatic readings. Okay. Delphi said, liking an episode is not the same as subscribing. I agree, 100%. Hugh said, also Webtoons is primarily focusing on the app instead of the website. Yeah, that's true. Delphi said, it's not going to save the series as subscribe, but people can become eligible to a revenue stream because of numbers. Smart, Delphi. Smart. Matt said, Webtoon could monetize so much if they were able to let go of the reins of content control a little bit, which I suspect will happen when they go public. Once they go public, it's going to be a completely different game. I'm very interested to see what happens when they go public. Matt, we might have to collab on that if it really happens. Like, I would love to hear your business brain at work. Delphi said, I liked a lot of episodes on the Teddy server. It took me about an hour. No one is forced to do it, but I think it does more good than harm. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, there's different reasons I feel like people like stuff. Like, giving a like is kind of different, I think, from writing a comment or making a review or something like that. I don't want to get too bogged down in this because we're on like the last article and I haven't even finished it yet. But my point is like giving someone a like isn't as huge a deal, I think, as people make it out to be. I do think giving a false review or giving a false comment on something that you don't enjoy, or like you had to like lie for it to be true, like to leave the comment, isn't a best practice that I would implement. So that's all I'm saying on this. I'm not going to address this anymore. I don't know why I opened that can of worms tonight. I'm sorry, guys. So, looking at this Reddit article, what I wanted to tap into is what people were kind of feeling about the super like, and a lot of people are basically saying like they feel like it's not worth it. Like, this comment talks about how they feel like Webtoons is going to take a fat percentage. They say the threshold is actually pretty low, 500 likes in total for a series, so they want more users to have access to it, but that only convinces me they plan to take a decent cut of what money's being directed to the creator. Again, at least with Patreon, you know how much of the cut you're getting. Yeah, the transparency with like, Webtoons just needs to be more transparent about things, because I feel like that would help creators to not be so on edge about stuff. So, I thought this was an interesting comment. They said, is this meant to be the tipping system that they promised last year? And it's not even rolled out yet. My opinion of it doesn't even really matter at this point, because I'm not going to continue to upload to Canvas, but I do wonder how viable this will be in practice, especially because, as you mentioned, it seems very similar to Tapas Inc., which is a functional mess, to say the least. God knows what Webtoon will be cutting off the top. I'm sort of glad at least that the criteria isn't stupid high like the ad revenue program. 500 likes is just high enough to offer a bit of prestige without it being absurd. But I say sort of because it drives me nuts that Webtoons is enforcing the prestige to begin with through criteria when it shouldn't and doesn't matter if we're accessible to everyone, especially when there are so many platforms that offer monetization offers right off the bat. So I'll pause there. I do think it's weird that there's no Webtoon monetization right off the bat. That would make so many creators extremely happy. Like, I'm just saying. And it would put them in a favorable light. And so with this tipping system, like if they just allowed it to be a straight tipping system and they were like, okay, you're going to get 60%, we're going to get 40%. You're going to get 70%, we're going to get 30%. Or 50-50. Like, I feel like creators would still be dissatisfied, but at least everyone would know where they stood and it wouldn't be as annoying. So, according to our poll on YouTube, do you like the super like option that's coming to Webtoons? 60% said maybe, 40% said yes, which I feel like is pretty accurate. No one said no, which just indicates to me that everyone's willing to give this a chance and everyone's willing to kind of like just see how things happen and observe the situation. Like me, I think for the people who said yes, that's where I would lean, is because it doesn't hurt you. Just take advantage of it. At the end of the day, I think that's the best option. Matt said, Webtoon and transparency? Listen. They really need to be transparent on some things. It's more strategic. Like, it just makes more sense. That's like, it would help them so much. Hugh said, to be honest, I think a Ko-fi integration system would work too. Yeah, see, I think the only thing about integrations is like you have to like do something with the company. And so maybe it's just a little bit more complex or more work than they're willing to do. Hugh said, instead of making their own tipping system. I think the reason they made their own tipping system is so that they could add an extra revenue stream for themselves. Like, Webtoons stay making revenue streams for themselves. Kaylee Blue said, the limit is to keep all of those spam accounts from freaking things up. Yep. Hugh said, yeah, there are a lot of weird spam Webtoons. You see a lot on Webtoons. Lord. Yeah, there are a lot of Webtoons, spam Webtoons. You see a lot of Webtoons on Canvas with the same title and thumbnail. Super weird. I like your optimism. Patient Spooky said, I like your optimism, Apollo. I think it's a good idea to open to what's going to happen. Yes. Like, let's build on this. Like, they cannot stop at the super like. They have to go beyond this. And because creators really enjoyed the ad revenue program, I thought it was a little ridiculous myself just because the thresholds for it were so high. But I didn't want to like rain on anyone's parade. But now that it's not here, like, I don't like that it's so hard for creators to be able to obtain an additional revenue source for the value that Webtoon gets out of it for the audience that you bring to their platform. So that's why I'm just like, it rubs me the wrong way. So, and what I mean by it rubbing me the wrong way, the practice of like not returning the favor to the people who are on your platform. Yeah, you still have ads. All right, so that was the 3 stories of the day. Thank you so much, guys, for going over these with me. I just want to say some people did also DM me directly some of these stories. I think Delphi was one of them, and I think, was it Blue? It might have been Blue or somebody else. They sent me stories that they thought were interesting and could be featured. So just, shout out to them. I really appreciate them taking the time to think of me and think of like the stories that are beneficial for the community, because that really helps me out whenever I'm looking for stuff. I don't always catch everything, so whenever you guys send me stories, and especially if they're interesting, that helps me out a lot to be able to convey the news to you. I will say, I think of all of our 3 stories, the most interesting thing to me was the Avatar series. I really want to see how the timeline for this develops and how it like expands the universe of Avatar, the fan base of Avatar. Like, I really feel like if it's done right, like this could like really kindle a huge like comeback for Avatar. Not that it ever fell away, just in terms of the popularity and being able to like bring a series to the next level of popularity. So with that, I will open this up to questions and comments. So feel free to ask me whatever you would like, but just remember it doesn't mean I have to answer it. Matt said, speaking from a long-term point of view, the next 5 years of creator content platforms is going to start looking more and more self-contained. I can agree with that, Matt. Hugh, you sent me the Avatar story. Yes. So shout out to Hugh as well. Like, everybody's been on top of sending me stories, and I really appreciate that. Like, you guys have no idea how excited it makes me to get like a DM from y'all that's about an article for the news. So let me explain. For a while, like, I enjoy consuming the news, and it's just really, I feel like people don't appreciate it for what it is and what it could be and the potential that some of these stories could have, which a lot of what we talk about is conjecture. Like, we don't necessarily go over everything that's factual per se. Like I try to be neutral when we're talking about the article, but I open it up to my opinions that explain the potential of these series, or not series, of these topics. And when we first started Pantheon Talks, the news was a feature that we offered, and I would try and tie in, like, it would be a recap of what happened in the month, and I would try and tie in a lot of like interesting points or things that I felt were beneficial, but we would literally just kind of like surmise the article, and like I didn't get a chance to explain my thoughts on it. And now, like, that we've come back and like the news stream is revived, like having all of you guys actually really interested in the articles, interested in the topics, and interested in the opinions, and us all being able to talk about different things and agree and disagree and see like all of the different viewpoints just gets me so excited for the news streams. So I just appreciate you guys being involved with this. Also, I'm so sorry, I just thought about it. I did not go over the parameters that Webtoon left for the actual monetization. So the link for that is in the description below. I don't want to go back and talk about it, but we kind of hinted at it, but I should have read it directly from Webtoons. So I'm sorry about that, but just know that there is a link. If you did not know anything about it, you can get all of the details down below. Hugh said, yeah, every platform is going to copy the YouTube model. Yes, it's working 100%. Adagong said, what do you think are the biggest new Webtoons right now? Okay, so this is hard for me because if we're talking about like brand new series that have joined the app, like Webtoons kind of tells us the top series that are going on at the moment. I could probably tell you what I think has the most potential to be like really good series. I feel like it's hard for me not to just like pull up the app and be like, these series are the ones that are doing really good. So I think, and I also think like, when you say biggest new Webtoons, are you like, how far back do we go? Because like the guy upstairs, I feel like is relatively new. Like it's only 40 episodes in, I think. So it's like not a year old yet. So like that could be a series. So clarify for me what you mean, Adagong, and then I can answer it more effectively. And what's an original you're really into? So I love the Ember Knight. So I don't know if it's on hiatus or what's going on, but that series is so good. It's about like a character that's weak, that has to use his intelligence to be able to combat like Omega level mutants, basically. Like, and it's so interesting, like being able to like read through this character's like thought process, like how he has to manipulate all of the situations. It's so good. And of course, as you guys know, I love Alexi. Like, Alexi, hands down, top tier. Let's see. Delphi said, Made of Stardust. I'm biased because I work with her. Was there a question? What did I ask? Did I ask a question? Anyway, shout out to Made of Stardust. It is a beautiful series. Atagong, that's awesome, Delphi. Oh, y'all are talking to each other. Lord, I'm like, what? What's your current favorite song this year? Ooh, okay, Matt, so does it have to be a song from this year? Because the song from this year hasn't happened yet. I'm waiting for Taylor Swift's new album to drop, and then I'll let you know what my song for this year is. But if I had to pick one, it's probably Vigilante on Taylor's last album. I love that song. My favorite line in that song is, Lord, my brain has gone blank and I sing it all the time, like everywhere I go when I'm at work. Don't get mad, what is it? Don't get mad, get even. I say that all the time. I'm like, don't get mad, get even. Like, that's my jam. And if it's not that, it's probably Type of Girl by Blackpink. Delphi said, The Last Adventurer looks sick. It looks like an anime. I'm sure there's a big team behind it. Ooh, let's look that up real quick. The Last Adventurer? Oh, I remember seeing an ad for this. It does look sick. When did it come out? How many episodes? Oh, it just came out. It came out March 30th, and it only has the prologue and 2 episodes. That's insane. Okay, I'll definitely be checking that out. Thank you, guys. Delphi said, what are you reading / watching right now? Okay, so as I told you guys, because I had like a little mental breakdown on that Lore Olympus topic, I am reading Superpowers, and it's the type of story that I want to create. Like, as a person who loves the superhero genre, I don't necessarily love it like Superman, Batman-y. I like X-Men sort of superhero genre. And so Superpowers fits the criteria of the story realm, because like where I'm at, I don't want high schoolers. I want more college age. I want like that sort of level of thinking for like characters in my stories. And so reading this has really just inspired me, because it's like, this is what I want to create. Like, this is the genre of story I want to create. This is the level of storytelling I want to create. It's just inspired me so much. So that's what I'm reading right now. And as far as what I'm watching, so I'm watching Survivor because your boy's obsessed. Like, I'm a big Survivor fan. I low-key would love to be on Survivor. So I would like to be on Survivor, Big Brother, or The Circle. And I just got into reality TV not too long ago, but I feel like I would be so good at it. Like, just because I feel like I'm an unassuming person. It's like, in real life, I don't think I come across as like anything. Like, I feel like I read very neutrally, because like most of the time, like when I leave the house, I'm going to work and then I come home, so I'm like always in a professional setting. And so like what I've learned from that setting is that I don't give off any sort of vibe. So yeah, one of those. That's what I'm watching right now. If I had to say another show that I'm watching, I do put on Grey's Anatomy because Taylor has been talking about it, and I've been playing it in the background while I work sometimes, but I'm not really actively watching anything. What I will watch though this weekend is Blue Eyed Samurai. So Atagong said maybe by 2 to 3 years. Okay, so I would say I agree with Hugh. Mafia Nanny. What did I just say? The one where the guy's like a serial killer and they're in that apartment. Oh, what is it called? roommate, the guy upstairs. That one, that one's relatively new, I think. And if I had to pick one more series, that's new. Oh, is it Just Goblin? I think Just Goblin. Let me see how old that one is, because it's really good. Let's see, the first episode was 2022. So that's in the parameters. If you're not reading Just Goblin, it's good. Like, if you need a full course meal, there it is. Oh, Hugh, you're reading The Ember Knight. It's so good. The boxer is really good too. No, I was answering the question. Gotcha. Have you been dressing for revenge lately? I dress for revenge every day I go to work. Hugh said, can't wait for your superhero college gang series. So that series, that's something I've been working on for a while. I don't know how I feel about it yet, because there's like so much, like this series is like a childhood series. And so like, I don't know if I'll ever tell that series, just because like I feel like I'm too attached to it and I can't be objective about it. I feel like I would need to like outsource that once I become established and be like, this is the plot, here's the outline, I can't be involved. Like, but please tell my story and use my character designs. So I'll have to share that with you guys one day on stream. Maybe that'll be a Patreon thing. Let you guys get to see. Ooh, I should redesign all of them. Like, do you guys watch, is it ABD Illustrations? And he has like his Heartless series. I feel like I should do something like that for that whole series. Like change, like show you guys like the old like child designs of them, redo them and whatnot. Like that would be such a fun video. I think I definitely want to do that. I am writing that down. Hold on. Also, what are you guys drinking? I had a black cherry sparkling water tonight. Delphi said the circle is my jam. Yes, Delphi. I think we could be an awesome tag team on the circle. Like, we would hands down walk away with victory. I just feel like we have the right vibes. And see, I need to do the circle with somebody else so that they can check me when I'm getting too deranged or I got like my Delulu brain on. So all right. Oh, Drew, we needed to look up your series. Let's pull it up. Is it on Webtoons? Let's see. It's just Webtoons. Atagong series, as always. Okay, so what was it? Book of... What was it? Was it Book of Dimension? End of Dimension? What was it? Let's see. I'm finding it. Don't worry. Book of Domination. Is this it? Oh, yep. Drew Young. Oh, the art quality looks crazy professional. Guys, who's reading this? Why aren't we reading this together? Oh my good grief, it's an adorable child! This is kind of giving me Mushoku Tensei. Is that the right name? The jobless reincarnation story? It's giving me that sort of vibe. Thrown into the video game world of Etheria, with no recollection of his personal life, our protagonist finds himself with a book containing instructions and quests to gain power by dominating monsters into allies, while seemingly trying to enjoy his daily life in game, more mysteries arise when he finally meets other normal players. He finally chooses to embark on a quest to escape the game he was thrown into and reveal the mystery behind it. What? This art quality, Drew. I just wanted to look at the panels, but it's definitely, it's giving professional. It's giving, I work on this every day of my life. Like, I am a professional artist. Ooh. Okay, Drew. Like, this is professional. Like, this looks so good. I love a good logo. Like, this looks so good. And it has like a little tab. This is too much. I was not prepared for that. I'm sorry. I was only going to look at the first episode, but I just kind of had to look at more. Oh my, I can like visualize this in my head so well. Guys, this is so good. That's so good. I was not expecting that. That was really good. I'm sorry. I had like a whole like out of body moment right then. Yeah, Delphi, the art is beautiful. Drew, are you working on that by yourself? Adagong said, oh yeah, I saw your series on Inkverse. Oh, you're from Inkverse! Dude! That's awesome. I've got to join the Inkverse Discord. I feel like there's so many cool people over there. Like everybody I meet is like, oh, I'm on Inkverse. I'm like, oh, okay. I definitely got to check that out. Drew said, pardon my English though. Your English has been perfect. I don't know what you're talking about. I was a pro for K Webtoon industry for a while. Dude, that's awesome. I would love to hear more about your experience. It does look like an original. It looks really good. You do it solo? That's crazy. I can't believe like you do all of that by yourself. The quality is so good. Keep it up, Drew. Like, snaps in the chat for Drew for sure. I know Inkverse from your stream. Oh, see, I'm really glad that like people are finding out about Inkverse more. Like, I really enjoy Danny and Eleanor. Like, they're so nice. They're so professional. I'm hoping that we can collab again come the end of the year. I think that would be really fun. Because like Danny and Eleanor are just awesome. Like, I really enjoy getting to know them and talk to them. So I hope that their platform just continues to keep growing. Adagong said, you did some amazing work. Yeah, join us on server. It's a lot of fun. Okay, Adagong, you convinced me. Like, let me just tell you guys. Adagong like tells me to do stuff and I just do it. Like, I don't know why, but we have that sort of friendship now. All right, I definitely got to join, so I will add that to my list. All right, guys. Well, it has been an amazing stream. We went for a while. I was like a little deranged, a little crazy, but I hope that everything was coherent. It was so much fun. I have a lot of things planned coming up. I've been reaching out to people for interviews and whatnot. So if you know somebody or you would like to be interviewed, let me know so we can start working on it together. And I am hoping to keep bringing in like interesting perspective and views. I'm still trying to find somebody that is either like a literary agent or a book agent and an editor to come on and talk to us so we can learn more about that. I think that would be so much fun. All right, so with that, we are now at the creator shout out, and this is obviously for one of our amazing followers. Their series is Laser Tag League, and I just feel like the image kind of speaks for itself. It's a sports anime. It's so cool. So it says Laser Tag League follows the journey of BB as he discovers that an old passion has now been re-owned in the new age as a fully fledged sport. So be sure to check out the creator. They have a link in the description below. give them all of the love and definitely let them know that Apollo sent you. So with that, we're now at the question to the community. What series do you think will be the next big webtoon? Please comment that down below. And as a little bit of a preview, I'm going to try and advertise more about Patreon and what I'm doing over there. So right now I am working on cover art for our upcoming audiobook that is entitled Radiance. So this is the character and that is my art style. So you get to see a little bit of how I draw and how I work. But this is like his outfit design sort of vibe. But we've been working on that a little bit every week. So if that sounds interesting to you, this is during those streams, that's the time for you to just get on and chat with me like we normally do, hang out, draw, but it gives you access to our Discord where you can actually pop on and chat with me directly and not just in chat. So just a little bit of an ad there, but I'm trying to be a better YouTuber. So thank you so much guys for jumping on. I really appreciate it. It's been so awesome. I guess with that, I'll just say, do all the YouTube things, and I will definitely catch you in the next video.